Hi, this is Mason.
We have sort of a problem here.
And you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins Presents.
You apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Transfer Portal Syracuse.
You see, we're putting the cover sheets on all TPS reports now before they go out.
With Brian Higgins and Jordan Capozzi.
Did you see the memo about this?
Capozzi.
If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
Capozzi.
And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo.
Capozzi.
We need to talk about your TPS reports.
With this week's TPS report.
If you could go ahead and try to remember to do that from now on, that'd be great.
Here's Brian and Jordan.
All right.
Oh, Mason, one of these weeks you're going to figure out how to say Jordan's name. One of these weeks. Brian Higgins, Jordan Capozzi here. It's Transfer Portal Syracuse. It's TPS Report number 4. I'm in my basement. Jordan's in his line and Google hat. He may have cats and dogs joining us at some point. We'll see how it goes. Welcome, chat. What's up, Spetch and Louise? Link pinned to the top if anyone would like to join us throughout the show today. Vis-a-vis the video chat, we have that technology. Jordan, what is up, my man?
How you doing? We got a surprising decision to make to start the show, and it has nothing to do with Halloween candy.
No, of which, based on the current forecast for tomorrow, I may end up with a shocking amount of my own still staying in the house. But that is a problem, a solution, something for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I wrote a column that got published yesterday morning that, like, the title was, "Is it basketball season? ? Yes." So, not that we were done with football, but we had kind of, moved on with it a little bit because, football was just, the air was out of the balloon. And then Fran Brown was like, is that what you're doing? Fran Brown's, okay, yeah, well, I might play 1 or 7 quarterbacks, or, I don't know what I got. I might just all the quarterbacks on Friday. What do you guys think about that on Orange Nation yesterday? So, yeah, it got a little spicy here in the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah, I have to change my mind on the quarterback thing. I had one stance, and now it's completely switched. I'm very set in my beliefs on basketball that I've been sharing, to be honest. But with football, I've changed my mind on the quarterback stuff, Brian. I think, does that answer that? Are we started with football?
I mean, we could. You're also boys with Melo now. You were hanging with Melo in the effing locker room after the effing game last night. That I love Melo, but he swears like a sailor, that guy. So yeah, I mean, you've got a lot going on here.
Yeah, let me tell you, and we can talk about football first, but I'm going to start with the Melo intro.
So good.
Everybody knew he was at the game, and where I was sitting, esteemed media, there was no diet soda. I think they made their own Powerade and bottled it, and it was pretty good, but that's what we were doing for exhibitions.
Get the mix right.
I couldn't see him, and I walk into the locker room, and he's obviously there. And part of me was like, do I interview Melo? But that felt kind of like a jerk move. These guys just played their first game in the Dome. And I just got lucky enough to where I finished talking with Nate George. Kyan sits down. I'm right there. I'm like, let's start this off. And then Melo just like, beep, 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 beep. It's like, okay, dude. Coming in hot.
Yeah, it makes me feel better about that show we did whenever it was a year and a half ago where we were airing back. I mean, it was already taped, but it was like a live debut on YouTube, so we hadn't heard it when we aired Melo's podcast to where Kyan made his announcement. And I had to dump out of it like 17 times because Melo, Lala, everyone they knew kept swearing. Everyone except Kyan. So I'm glad that wasn't a one-off. Like, we didn't catch him on a weird day. That's just the life and times of Melo. So we kind of like that. As you have something weird on you got a string on your chin.
Yeah, I did a little face wash before the show, and some of the little facial cleaning pad, whatever, rubbed off. Let's talk football, okay. Brian. Let's just avoid my issues. I do have an issue, and that is I was dead wrong. I was talking to people on the old Twitter this week, and I was convinced that Ricky was going to be the starter. I forgot who the guy was, but he was like, if I were a betting man, I'd say it'll be Carney. And I was like, I'd give you plus 500 on that, buddy. The odds have dropped. We're down to like plus 250, and I might still be getting cooked on that. Everybody heard the comments where Fran was basically like, we gave Ricky a month. It didn't work. It's time to move on.
So why has he said that? Like, I mean, Steve, he just grabs the truth out of Fran. Is it why? Like, he didn't say that at all on Monday. Like
my homie Infante.
Yeah, Infante he's grilling him. He's pulling it out of him. Like, he didn't say it at all on Monday. Then on Wednesday, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. That guy's no good. Let's put in somebody else.
What, Brett? You mean he didn't mention that he was benching Ricky in the room with the large group of people who would then ask follow-ups? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Do you think let me ask you this, because Fran, like, even though Fran said that, like, to say that we know what the plan is tomorrow night is foolish at quarterback.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no.
Do you think Carney's starting? Do you think it's possible Ricky still starts and he's just like, we're gonna give everyone a shot?
So my initial lean was that Collins would start and maybe he'd alternate drives like you've been pitching. Oh, okay, Grover. Hold on. Everybody.
Grover went viral last week.
Repellent fish. There we go. So I will wiggle this fish out of frame and then speak. So I figured you were going to be right, Brian. I figured that what we were going to do was just alternate drives. And now we've heard roll with bowl, right? We've heard other rhyming names.
Okay.
I'm starting to get convinced we're going to party with Filardi, Brian.
Yeah, what's going on
I think our season is going to hinge on a walk-on
lacrosse player?
And is supposedly the best looking quarterback on the roster right now. This is where we're at right now, man. And it was just kind of a pipe dream at the beginning. And then they're talking about it on radio shows. But you also got to keep in mind, Fran is definitely the type of guy who would go and tell people with loud mouths on a radio show something to make them say it so that UNC has to scout all these random guys and waste time watching Joe Filardi high school film.
And Belichick's got that.
Yeah, but the more I hear it and the more Fran says his name, the more I think we might see the guy play, Brian. I think, 2 quarterbacks is the minimum I think we're going to see. Like, does Ricky get anything? Like, do you just start Ricky just to say you started him and keep him engaged and maybe see if, hey, did we do enough to light a fire under you? But I think we're going to see Carney, and I'm starting to get on the Filardi train unless Carney just goes out there and is a world beater.
It's just getting bizarre. And we've had, in the last 2 years, we've had some really bizarre lead-ups to games with quarterbacks. We had Guy at a bar telling me about Carlos Del Rio Wilson, of which I should have listened to him. And then that happened, and Carlos Del Rio Wilson threw 4 interceptions, got injured, and never played another snap for Syracuse University. Like, things that happened, and now he's playing well for Marshall. I've already forgotten the dude's name. So it was it the week after that? It must have been the week after that. So Schrader still couldn't throw. It's the 100th anniversary of football at Yankee Stadium at Syracuse and Pittsburgh. And we're sitting there, like, trying to figure it out during warm-ups. We've been talking about that dude.
Luke McPhail.
Luke McPhail, yes, who then went to Utah Valley Tech. I don't know. He ended up somewhere after that, and I think he may be somewhere else still at this point, because we thought, well, he's the only guy left on the team whose arm works. And they went with an offense where they're like, yeah, we don't need arms that work, and it worked, and they won the game. Like, we've seen some weird stuff. I wonder here, because how this Filardi thing has come out, Dusty Javorchak, who did color on ESPN with our guy Dave Pash last week, got that from Fran in a production call. And he slid it in, like, slightly during the game, where at one point I'm like, what the hell did he just say? But then you just don't think anything of it. And then he was on, I think it was Danny Cannell's show yesterday or today, and that's been making the rounds.
By the way, I don't remember why, but me and Danny Cannell for a couple seconds had a small beef on Twitter. Yeah, and I don't remember what it was.
Cannell
but I
gets
remember
into beefs. Cannell will beef.
Something happened.
Yeah, it probably was very minor. Cannell's a pro, a professional beefer. So there's that. I'm trying to remember where I heard this, but I know I'm not making this up. I forget if Fran said it in a presser or if it was another TV color guy that got it from Fran. Then and he didn't say who they were talking about, but they must have been talking about Rich Beelan, who's the other freshman quarterback this year. It was blah, 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 and that guy could be Joe Hamilton down the line, who was Georgia Tech's quarterback in 99 when they had their unbelievable season, and a small guy. Beelan's a small guy. Jordan's distracting a cat. And
did he get suspended was Joe Hamilton the guy who got suspended from the broadcast last year? Or was that a different guy?
Yeah, same guy. No, yeah. We were
okay.
100% the same guy who got, I think, fired from Georgia Tech color commentary because some stuff went down. But so now we're hearing about the walk-on quarterback who's a top 30 ranked lacrosse player for Gary Gate this year. We're vaguely hearing about the other freshman quarterback. We've seen Luke Carney. Jakari Williams is still a human being who exists, to the best of my knowledge. You still have the guy that there was 100% support behind up until yesterday at about 12:20. So I don't know who's going to play, and I don't know in what order they're going to play, and I don't know how much anyone's going to play. Any one of those quarterbacks could go on the field at any point on Friday, and I think at some point we could go back to and find something where it's like, yeah, I think Fran gave us the little nugget at that point that this guy was the one.
And Brian, they got Steve Angeli throwing on like a little scooter too.
That was my idea a couple weeks ago.
Can't rule out. There you go.
I'd feel
we
much
can't
better
rule out
about
Angeli.
Yeah, I'd feel much better about Scooter Angeli if the offensive line was functional right now and they weren't potentially going to center number 12. But I
at
don't know.
least have to think about it for half a second. If you tell me fully healthy offensive line, would you rather have any of the starting quarterbacks or Angeli on that scooter? If you promise me the offensive line is fully healthy, I'm at least going to think about it.
Yeah, like, can you crank the scooter up enough that he's got enough that he's not, like, really stuck behind the line? Like, Rich Beelan's not tall. Who's taller, Beelan or Angeli on scooter? I mean, who's got better vision? He'll be set for the throw, very consistent throwing motion, I think, Angeli on scooter. The other option here, and this is my personal favorite, and it's Halloween tomorrow night, Jordan. So disguises could be allowed. I say we dress up Kyle McCord as any one of those guys. I don't care.
Yeah, I think you could dress Kyle McCord up as Jakari Williams and throw him out there. I think that would work.
Just that's not Kyle McCord. Just all of a sudden, some random dude comes in, throws for 450, and just shreds Belichick's defense, and we never see him again.
By the way, I feel terrible for Jakari Williams. Like, wasn't that dude supposed to be the future like last year? And then he was at least getting reps, if I recall, in the spring game, right? Yeah. He played in the spring game, no? And now he was
he was technically the starting quarterback in the spring game because Collins was out.
And it's like the poor guy can't even get a sniff. And like maybe it's Fran protecting a guy who wants his red shirt. And Fran was like, because Fran's the type of dude who, if you said, Coach, I'd like to red shirt, he'd be like, okay, you're not going to play at all then. I can't waste my time on you.
It's like, yeah, the portal's open now. Have fun.
But imagine, like, if he's a guy who just wants to play and he's not getting a sniff, poor dude. Yeah, so here's my big question. I posed this, and I think the answer I got, and the answer I believe was, who cares? You have to try something or else it looks like a joke.
Yeah, I saw that.
Say this Ricky Collins offense, we're going to call it a 5, not because it's average, but because we need to give you wiggle room up and down. If you're a 5 confident in this offense under Ricky Collins, where are you with anybody else?
That's
Luke Carney, Filardi, like,
well, I mean,
where are you?
Right now, you can't pick a number higher than that. Now, it might be higher than that, but I can't sit here without having ever seen any of them realistically play and be like, oh yeah, it'll be better. Like,
I think some people don't think that way though, Brian. That's the thing. And I'm not trying to sound like oh, I'm so realistic, but I think there are people out there who genuinely, I think there's maybe like 80% are, they get it. But I think there's 20% of people who are out there like, this is going to look better. And I don't want you to be surprised when it doesn't look better.
It's possible it looks worse. Now, I realize you gave a 5 and the 5 was generous. There actually isn't that much wiggle room on the backside of the scale right now. But none of these people have played college football before. Jakari Williams, 0 snaps. Carney, the electric veteran, has played 2.5 series and got yanked on a 3rd and 9. Rich Beelan's never played. Joseph Filardi is a lacrosse player who happened to be a good high school quarterback last year. There is less than nothing. We don't know how any of them are going to react. And like the defense on the other side's being run by Bill freaking Belichick. Like, I get that Carolina's not good this year. It's not their defense. Their offense is trash. Like, their defense is doing, I mean, it's not like the height of Belichick in New England, but Friday's not going to be the simplest operation for any of these quarterbacks to figure out.
No, and I was watching a little bit of Gio Lopez too. I did my normal, I'm just gonna,
He's terrible. Right?
look at some games. He is, but so here are some things. One, at the beginning of the season, if I'm not mistaken, their first game, I want to say
it was that Labor Day Monday night game against TCU.
And they were going between quarterbacks. They threw a backup in. It worked a little bit better.
They scored on the first drive, and everyone was like, it's going to work, and then just got absolutely smacked around.
Also, Lopez, what did I read? That he was in like a car crash or something? I hope that's not misinformation, but I was trying to read a little bit about what was going on. And point is, he's been dealing with some issues with his health. And I think he said that after last week against Virginia, it was the best he's felt all season in terms of health, which you say that when you absolutely stink, but maybe there's something to it. Like, it's a freshman quarterback. He was playing hurt. He's trying to get a little more comfortable. Virginia, I don't know what to make of them, but they've got to be decent if they're ranked. I don't think he's very good, but I also think there's reason to believe that they're trending up and Syracuse could trend down.
Yeah, Carolina is less bad than they were. That is as generous as I can be to them, because they're still losing. They're just not getting blown out. They've lost some close, just low-scoring, really gross games of late. It's like 18-16, 20-18 in that ilk. And obviously Syracuse hasn't broken 20 in a month, and they haven't held anybody to less than 30 in a month. Do you want to explore this with me, Jordan? I put this out there after last week's game when everyone was just mopey and sad. All right, let's for a moment go live in the world where Angeli didn't get hurt. And Syracuse just got run around for a month. The score the last month is 140-50. And eye test tells me it's not as bad, but score-wise, it's as bad as any 4-game stretch, even in the Greg Robinson era. And it's not that bad. We were there. It's not that bad, but it's not good. If Angeli was there, what do you think their record is right now? Like, it made me. It's just you're not getting killed. I don't know how many more games you're winning. What do you think they're doing right now? 3-5 becomes what if he stayed healthy?
Not 3-5. I'll tell you that. The thing is, I have such a hard time figuring it out because all of those games, there was just absolute garbage at the end that made it closer than it should have been. So I can't tell if the Clemson game was just kind of fluky or if they would have kept doing what they were doing. I think they probably beat Pitt. I think Georgia Tech would have been.
SMU were the two I would have put the highest on the winnability list.
SMU for sure. I think Georgia Tech could have been close for sure.
Yeah, I said Duke becomes like a shootout. Duke played really well that game. So, all right, maybe you lose that game. Plus, you're still emotional crash off Clemson. Pitt, I mean, that game, like, if you had him, you probably score a few possessions in the first quarter, and you're on the front foot the whole game with a freshman quarterback on the other side. SMU, I don't know. Last week, I think you lose, but I think they would have all been just great games to watch. I think all four have been great games to watch, and they've all been trash, and that's what stinks.
It's also the whole butterfly effect, because say you win a few more of those games, what does that do for the team in the Georgia Tech game? And also, who's to say this defense isn't actually better than we're seeing, and they just look terrible because they're defending short field every time, and they get like 3 minutes to inhale as much air as possible, drink a whole bottle of Powerade, shout out Coca-Cola, and then go out there and try to save the day again. So I don't think they're undefeated or anything crazy, but I think 6 wins is fair. You said that you didn't think Duke, like they were just playing so well, but part of me thinks that, again, if
I mean,
the offense
Syracuse
is
clearly
doing a
just
little something,
like an emotional wreck having lost Angeli too. So who knows?
yeah, but I think it disrupts their rhythm a little bit too, Duke, just if they have to watch the other offense be competent. So I'd say, I don't know, 6. They're definitely, I'll put it this way, they're definitely making a bowl game with Angeli by
Right.
the end of the year. Like
I'd
that's
say
no doubt.
realistically, I think you win at least one of those games. You're certainly not getting smacked around. I'd say worst case with your starting quarterback, you're 4-4. I think all the games have been good games, and we're just in such a different place. 4-4, it's only one game better, but you're in such a different place, right? Like we're all still involved. Like it's still a good football season, and then I think they're having the season right. We all thought where it's like, all right, this is a 2-year build. They're on the way. The schedule's just nuts. It's brutal, and they got a shot next year. Now everyone's lost their mind because of the quarterback thing. It's one player. It's amazing what one player can do when it's the QB.
It is. And I just want to say, shout out Ryan Mullen, who's pulling up in the chat.
What's
not
up,
a
Ryan?
fan of Coca-Cola. I mean, he's just jumping across like there's like
Grover's
hot coals.
Grover is he is full on trying to become an internet star. I think is what's happening here.
Yeah. Oh, Grover. Were you surprised that they were favored against UNC, or do you think that's fair? And I actually haven't looked at what the line has done.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
Let me
You
pull it up.
cannot get props for Syracuse passing props.
Yeah.
So how does that affect the actual game line?
Where's my? Hang on. Where's my?
Oh, I can.
bet
Don't worry,
lines here?
Brian. Don't you worry, Brian.
I have a. Where did
Brian.
have this? I know.
Brian,
I know.
Leave this to a professional, Brian. 2.5.
No, I was just wanted to. I was going to see how it moved. It opened at okay. It opened at Pick'em and moved to 2.5. So money came in on.
It moved real quick.
Okay.
Oh yeah, early in the week, I think it probably opened at a Pick'em. I believe after Syracuse's and UNC's latest games, I believe it was around 1, and then it kind of keeps moving. And I'm interested to see that it just keeps on moving. And
I don't think it'll get to 3. Like it's going to stay stuck there.
No,
that would be my
I don't
guess.
think so. The only way it gets to 3 is if you see a bunch of public money come on Syracuse tomorrow. Whoa, as Vince Carter was saying last night. Whoa. But I don't think it's going to get to 3. I don't think the books want it to get to 3. I am still, though, nonetheless, just surprised they're favored. I think North Carolina has shown more reason to believe that they're going to get better. I don't think Syracuse is showing much reason right now to think they're going to get better.
I think both of these teams have shown a reason to take the points in a close game. Like it's just like,
Okay.
Yeah. No Wrong Answers, which is dropping at 11 tomorrow morning. I have predicted a 1-point game. So
okay.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It's Halloween night. I have not predicted necessarily a good game, but I have predicted a potentially memorable game just because it may just be that trash that you can't like it may this I feel tomorrow night may turn into the car crash you can't stop watching, just because I don't think like I don't know what's gonna happen, but these are not good teams right now. It is not good quarterback play. It's Halloween. It's like weird stuff. I mean, it's a Halloween Friday night. It has to be a weird game. There's 100% chance of weird game Halloween Friday night.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be funky. If we're talking about weird games, Brian, is this where we talk about whatever the heck happened last night?
We could do that. So Cuse Carolina tomorrow night.
Know what it was?
7:30. Yeah, last night there was a basketball game. Post game show. I did a post game show last night. It was it was an event. We had an event. We had the Red post game press conference, which we essentially led off with, where he talked about getting punked in his opening statement, which was interesting. And fans have I put that out there, and fans have been responding in very exciting ways to that all day long. I mean, the game was just gross. What'd you make of Red's reaction after when you're standing in there? Like he was clearly simmering a bit. It felt more angry than just like last year when he was just grasping at straws. Yesterday he just sounded pissed.
Yeah, first off, Spatch and Louise wanted my camera to be moved back, it looked like. So
You didn't want to
see
look
how
at his
this plays.
face?
Well, here's the issue, right? Now there's a lot more of a runway for Grover. So we got to get the repellent fish ready.
Yeah.
What did we see? I think we saw guys playing in an exhibition who I'm not going to go as far as to say they just didn't want to be there. I know, that's a take we've had. Shout out Jackson, locked on. He was very passionate about that.
He was very passionate.
And that's what Jackson does, and I respect him for it. I'm not going to go as far as he did, but so I talked to the players after the games, right? I think that's pretty well established. I asked Nate George, was this because it was an exhibition? And he was about to say yes. And then he realized you probably shouldn't say that. And he was
standing there with a microphone.
Yes. And so he was pretty much, I was like, is part of that because it's an exhibition? And he's like, yeah, maybe a little, but that's not an excuse. Oh, no way. Did Mark Andrews just, let's go 2 weeks in a row, Brian. I'm hitting the first touchdown scorer for Sunday or Thursday Night Football live on the pod.
Wow.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Let's go.
I have Mark Andrews on my fantasy team, and I don't think I tweaked around my lineup yet, so I think I accidentally scored a touchdown.
Let's go.
Go me.
But yeah, Nate George was basically maybe a little, but that's not an excuse. And I think one thing that shows that for sure is the guy who was clearly giving the most effort and looked the most impressive was, Donnie looked impressive, but Sadiq White, I think, wowed everybody the most. And he didn't play the first game. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. So
I still would have liked.
They didn't care.
Yeah, I still would have liked, because we didn't really get that in the first game either. Like, in a game like that, and I get it, Pace is a good D2 team. I don't care. Just, you're Syracuse.
Don't. That's called coping.
Yeah, you got to go out there. Like, I get it being an exhibition game. At least give me 10 minutes where you come out the gate and smack them around a little bit. Like, don't just at least show you got it in you. That's my main worry from yesterday. They haven't showed me they have it in them yet. Like, if you show me you got it in you for a few minutes at the start, you're like, all right, that's enough. That was cute. We beat the crap out of them. They come back or whatever. I don't really care. But you gotta give me a little something. And the fact that we haven't seen what stepping on the gas looks like yet is a little worrisome. With like those games in Vegas are not very far from now. Those are 3 weeks from now. Houston and Kansas are 3 weeks from right now. And I'm not worried about a loss in those games. You can lose those games. I'm worried about like them getting decapitated by Houston and like realistically never recovering this year. Like you got to be ready to go in a game like that, or you could lose like weeks from losing a game like that.
I'll start with this. AirPods, Brian. Every time I get a text, because I just got 5 in a row.
Oh.
Are we hearing the notification?
No.
Okay,
we are
excellent. I'm gambling conspiracies. Basically, me and a friend have found some information that some of those gambling accounts, the guys who post picks, are all owned by the same company who are partners with the sports books. It's a big conspiracy. I'll get away from that.
Are you fading them all?
No, but we'll get there.
Okay.
I might be fading red though, because what we saw last night was more of the same. There was no half court offense. And when the threes weren't falling, which I was disappointed that nobody was able to hit them. When the threes weren't falling, there was nothing happening. And realistically, the only reason that game wasn't a disaster is because they were just able to press at will and change the dynamic of the game. You can't press like that against some of the better teams in the ACC.
Right.
You might not even be able to press like that for more than a minute or two against like below average ACC teams. So if all they have is the press and trapping, then this is gonna be a long season if they can't hit shots.
All right, Jordan, we're gonna do something now, which we tried a couple weeks ago. And
I'm not going to be able to hear.
Well, we're going to find out, because I have clicked different buttons this time, so you might be able to hear. But for those of you on the show, we have a link pinned to the top of the chat where you can click to join us. And our guy Nick is with us now, who I'm probably going to be able to hear, and Jordan may be able to hear, and we're all about to find out together. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good. Did Jordan hear
Jordan,
him?
Jordan, can you hear us?
No way.
He can hear him. Yes, I've hit the
Yeah, he's talking
all right,
about how
let's
good the
go.
olives he had on his grilled cheese tonight were, right?
So a couple of things, guys.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
Okay, I'm not
no.
hearing him then.
No? You lost him?
No,
Oh.
no. Well, I thought I heard him say something about olives off the start. So if that's not what he said, I just must not be hearing him.
No, you totally,
Definitely didn't say olives. I said, let's go.
Yeah, you totally made up something about olives. I don't know why you can't hear each other. I have there's a button on here to take you behind the scene that says guests hear each other, and I have it on. So Jordan's going to pretend he can hear us, Nick, but go ahead. What do you got?
Couple things, Brian. So I think what people are forgetting, the Nixon offense is designed for a pocket passer, right? Pro style. And Carney, Jakari, and Rich are not that.
Right.
In Texas, what they used to do, what they do, Luke's offense in high school he'd roll out to the side and cut the field in half.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd have the ability to play that half of the field, take it and run, RPO, things like that. That's probably why he's not fitting in so well at Syracuse right now, to be honest.
What I'd like to see here, and it's not often, Nick, that I advocate that teams follow the lead of my Giants, because that's usually a bad idea to do anything that my Giants are doing. But what the Giants have done with Jackson Dart is they've taken their offense, but they've mixed in some of just the general ideas that he did with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss the last few years to make the transition easier for him. So I'm kind of with you here. Be it Carney, be it whatever. Let's see a little blending here. Give them something, right, Nick, that they're comfortable with this week so it can work better.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And I think that's another reason why Filardi has gone up the ranks so quickly, because he is a pocket passer.
Yeah, and that's going to be a whole thing. Like, if Syracuse ends up playing their walk-on quarterback lacrosse player on Friday over the guys they recruited, that's going to be just an absolute bizarre scene. Absolute bizarre scene in the Dome. But it's gonna be something to see. But yeah, I think there's something to it, Nick. Like these quarterbacks, like none of them are ready to go. Like because of youth or because of whatever. Let's at least do something right to put them in a position where maybe they can succeed.
Play to their strengths, right? But the last thing I want to leave you guys with, little insight and a plug here. Hopefully we can make this happen. Okay. I had dinner with Josh Pastner last week, the head coach for UNLV. And apparently he's been reaching out, trying to get a hold of Red. He would like to set up a home and home with Syracuse Basketball.
All right. Well, they'll be out there in a few weeks, so that maybe they can they can talk in person to get.
Yeah, when you said Vegas, I thought I'd put that in there, but let's try to make that happen. That would be a great game for both teams.
There we go. Little home and home with the running Rebs. All right, Nick.
There you go.
See you, man.
All right, guys. It was good talking to you. Good luck tomorrow. Let's go Orange, and we'll talk next week.
All right. There we go. So our guy Nick out in Vegas. I don't know, Jordan, why I thought I had tested this out and thought I had fixed the issue, but apparently not, as Jordan is still listening to the end.
Wait, dude, you didn't ask what he had for dinner with Josh Pastner? Are you kidding me?
I did not.
What are you doing?
I don't know. What?
Oh.
So this is why we need to all be able to hear each other so we can have these
that would have been my first follow-up.
Yeah.
What did you have for dinner?
Nick, I know you're in the chat. Tell us what you had for dinner with Josh Pastner. Where'd you go?
Did they talk about the face shield? That would have been another one. Like, does he wear a shield as, like, instead of a napkin, does he just wear, like, a chest shield?
Oh, man. Oh, remember Pastner's COVID face shield? He was so aggressive with it. It was amazing.
I think that's fair. Try to, if you don't trust any of the quarterbacks necessarily, who do you trust? Well, you trust Jeff Nixon. So you put in the guy who you think can execute what he wants to do the best. I think there's some validity to that.
There is. I would like to think that I trust Jeff Nixon to the level that he can be the one to adjust here. I would hope, because, he's the adult in the room. I love Jeff. He's the nicest guy. Italian restaurant for Nick. Yeah, lot of good food in Vegas. A lot of good food. I'd just like to think that, and this is why I go back to, a couple weeks ago with the bye week, where obviously they didn't make a change or whatever. Like, and I know it wasn't necessarily a great point to try something like that. When you had 2 weeks, Okay. You got another bye week coming up in a little bit here before the last 2 games of the season. So that could be another chance to reset, but it's only going to be for 2 games. That would be a definite look to the future where you're playing freshman quarterbacks or whatever. I don't know. I would just like to see them, all right, run an offense that even if it's not what you think you do best, it needs to be what the quarterback does best right now. And not in a way where Dino ripped it up and they stopped throwing the ball when he was trying to save his job. It doesn't need to be that drastic, but just get to Nick's point. If Luke Carney's comfortable on the rollout and getting a half-field read and choosing pass or run, let's just get 4 or 5 plays in like that. Like, it's not stuff you don't have in your offense. Maybe it's not what you call all the time, but let's lean into the strength of whomever is going to be on the field this week.
I'll take it. I want to get back to hoops, though, because I think we talked quarterback. If that's okay with you, we appreciate Nick hopping on. That was a good point. The visor, it's just a normal hat.
No,
just a normal hat.
The camo top it camos into looking like a visor.
Yeah, it's like a forest. There's a boat.
Yeah.
See, look, there's a little boat. Line and Kugel sponsor us. The amount of free advertising, and it's totally not because I just wear this hat all the time now.
You
I'm
are
getting a haircut.
This is
Maybe
the 4th episode of the show. You're 4 for 4 in the Line and Kugel hat, so we do like that.
Yeah. But anyway, back to hoops. I was talking about red, and I mean, 1, do you think that's fair to draw from an exhibition? And 2, we said he was going to be the scapegoat already. The offense didn't look like it was doing much. Do you blame what we saw on what we're seeing from red, or is this just a case of, okay, Nate Kings didn't look like the shooter he was supposed to be? Okay, JJ really didn't look like he was super locked in. Nate Jordan, super locked in, I don't mean like just didn't care, but he didn't look like, for most of that game, the JJ that you want to be at his best. Like, and he's going to be, because he's a guy who you're like, wow, he has incredible control and vision for somebody who's sprinting full speed at the hoop right now. You're not doing that in an exhibition. But Nate George didn't look phenomenal. I mean, it was Donnie, it was Sadiq, Kyan was on and off, and then William Kyle carried the offense for a stretch, which we're never going to say that again.
Yeah.
So are you blaming red, or was it the players that you think that can be chalked up?
It was funny listening to Matt and Devo on the broadcast last night, like in that stretch where Kyle was carrying the offense. Devo was like, "This is great and all, but don't count on this going forward." It's like this is not what they're going to be all about. Is it fair to blame red over an exhibition game? No is the short answer. It's not fair to blame anybody over an exhibition game. The game didn't count. They're 0-0. That said, based on the last 2 years and based on where we're at, I am 100% not shocked that that's what's happening. And I think that's going to be maybe the toughest part of this year with this team that in theory should be better later than now, especially if Sadiq and Kyan are what we hope they are and they get better and better and better into like January and February, that if the season starts poorly with, and we've seen it recently, they were 3-0 or whatever last year, but it looked like crap. Like it was 3-0 and you're like, oh my God, it's horrible. Like if they go beat Binghamton on Monday, but it's like a 3-point game or something, the pitchforks are going to be out already. And that's before Houston, Kansas, another game, Tennessee, that are all coming up in the next month. Tennessee's December 2nd. Like that murderous stretch is all coming up within a month here. And you may have lost the room. And okay, maybe they figure it out and win some games down the stretch. But if nobody's in the dome and it's just nobody's and the buzz is gone, like the move will be made, right? Unless they're in the tournament at that point. Like that now you're going to lose all shadow of doubt at that point. Like it's just because it's twofold. You need to win, but this is Syracuse. You need butts in the seats. You need people to care. And if that goes away early, that is a major problem this year. Right? And I think that's what last night pulled out, because people last night, and I'm sure you got it, I got it, everyone out there got it, people are sick of it. They are sick of it. In the past, they wouldn't have given a crap about an exhibition game. Now they're bitching about an exhibition game because they're just sick of it looking like this.
Yeah, I think that is it Delaware State they're playing a week from Saturday? Is that who that game is against?
Yes, they are game 2 or game 3. They're one of the early ones.
That could get real uncomfortable because if they play all of these games like they did the Pace game, right? It's on the same day as a football game, which football is not going to look great, but
yeah, it's the Miami game, right?
Yeah. There are going to be a lot of people who might be at that game, and if they just look bad, might say, I'm going to go leave and I'm going to catch the football or not. And you could be in a really weird dome, where it's not overwhelming boos, but it's so empty that you really hear the 7 people booing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they look as that bad, we could be there. Now, I personally think they're going to look better. I think this was a fluke. I think this was they weren't energized. I also think, and I know it's excuses, and I know it shouldn't be this way. Let's be real. Red went to his backup lineup 4 minutes in and left him in a lot. And he said it was because he wasn't seeing the energy out of his starters, right? If that's a regular season game, if that's an ACC game, I don't think you do that for that long. I don't think he gives those freshmen that much time. I think that was a message to the starters to say, hey, you can't do this once the season starts. I think it's cool how some of those guys are getting time and they're playing, but I don't expect to see, I don't know, even 10% as much Bryce Zephyr as we saw this season.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
let's
expect
start
to see
there.
any percent of Bryce Zephyr. Like, if we're seeing percents of Bryce Zephyr this season, apologies to you, Bryce Zephyr, that's a problem. Like, that means the rotation's wrong. like because Bryce Zephyr shouldn't be in it.
Yeah, so I do think the personnel was part of what happens. And although I will say Soare, I liked what he was bringing in the paint defensively. Like I'd be down to see more Soare this season than I expected to be wanting to see.
He's
so that's the
energetic.
thing. Yeah. So I think they're going to turn it around personally, but if they don't, it gets gross. I also think it's very interesting, and I think you might have brought this up, but it looks like Kyan's the certified backup point guard.
Yeah, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, wondering who it might be. They definitely, and these are the things I like using. Like, if you're going to monkey around in an exhibition game, do that. Like, do that. And yes, Spanching Louise, of course, our friends at Wild Birds Unlimited are with us as always. I don't think I have it set up at this exact second to take a look at the dark bird cam, but we can pretend Jordan's in the bird cam right now. Yeah, I think what they were testing out is if they can do that, because realistically, it's got to be some combo of him or JJ, I think. And yeah, I don't know. It was just such not a good game to look at. I also had this conversation. I forget if it was in post game or on social media after, talking about the idea of like, all right, yeah, the dome was empty. You were in the building. It was Deadsville in there. You got to make your own energy and whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, that's true. And that is a thing. But I also called 18 years of women's basketball games in that building. And it was empty for most of them. And that team did not struggle in acquiring energy to go out and kick people's ass and win the games. So you are allowed, like, I get you come to Syracuse if you're on the men's team to play in front of 30,000, and I get the other games happen. In the other games, like, you got to bring it. You got to bring it yourself. You got to bring your juice. Yeah. You got to bring your guy.
It was also their fault.
Yeah, you got to do something.
It was their fault.
Yeah.
Here's how you know, Brian.
Yeah.
The loudest applause was during one of the on-court promotions. Mm-hmm. Like some kid, like Baby I think race? It was the dress-up game. It was where it was dressed like the orange. And I think like he had the shorts on wrong. I was kind of half paying attention. But I think he had the shorts on wrong. And then he made like the mid run shorts adjustment and then drained the shot right after.
Oh.
Crowd went nuts.
Which
And that
tells
just
you,
goes to show.
yeah,
It was the players' fault.
Ryan Mullen, empty. No, great choice of seats. That's true. Like not much better value than women's hoops tickets back in the day before they raised the price of the tickets there a little bit. But that also tells you that people were at the game, were paying attention. So it wasn't like they missed stuff that was happening during the game, right? Like if they noticed the kid putting on the shorts backwards and were like, yeah. Well, then they also noticed the lack of date, like 7 seconds on the shot clock and nobody moving an inch. Like, how many possessions was that last night where it was like, oh, there's 8 on the shot clock. It's just, and then just whoever got it last heaves up a 3. Like, okay, that's gross. That's gross.
They couldn't penetrate either. Like, it was really scary. The guards just could not get into the paint. Like, the only way they eventually got the ball in there, and I'm excited to see more of this season. Donnie chalked this up to just him being more aggressive. I think we're going to have to see a lot of Donnie high post, and Donnie's going to be making plays using his vision and athleticism in the middle to set guys up. Because when they were going high post and then down one more to William Kyle, that was in the second half what got them going and started it. So they had a little lead, then they brought the press, then they expanded it. But if these guards can't do anything, I think you're going to see Donnie as the focal point of this offense. And maybe that was the plan last year, honestly.
Here's what I think. Like, best case scenario for this team is Donnie is your best player. Donnie averages like 19 and a half and 9, and he's your leading scorer in, 80%-ish of the games. I think that sets you up the best. Like, And then, all right, there's a couple of games where JJ goes off, or there's, a game where Cayenne gets crazy hot from deep and everybody has a great time or something. But I think it needs to, and it won't be, obviously other teams will have taller people than Pace, but I do enjoy that Donnie was willing to go to the rim, right? He wasn't as willing to do it last year. And, the more we go back to it, and until we see otherwise in the regular season, I remain ready to chalk it up to this. I think a lot of it was the injury last year. Like, he just didn't feel comfortable jumping. I don't think he felt comfortable putting pressure on his foot last year. The more and more you look back at what he looked like last year and just where he is on the court and what he's doing this year, I think he's got a shot, if healthy, to be a really, really good player this year.
Yeah, I agree. And I tried to ask him if it was the injury, and I don't think he wanted to blame it on that. But yeah, like, there was a reason he was shooting so much from the top of the key. There was a reason he was just standing in the paint getting rebounds instead of helping on defense. And I do genuinely think we're going to come to find out it was the injury. And I think the narrative on Donnie is going to completely flip.
Totally.
Because let's go back and play the game where there were people accusing him basically of quitting.
Yeah.
If we see
his
that
foot was messed up, I think.
Yeah. And now we're going to see not only did he not quit, he was trying to play
3
through
weeks
an
too long.
injury.
Yeah.
And he still stayed with the team after, looked like energized on the bench. Look, Donnie's not a boisterous, flashy off the court, me. I'm going to talk a lot and be in clips sort of guy. Like, everything that Chris Bell was in terms of demeanor, Donnie's the opposite. He's just chilling. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's easy to take that for disinterest. I think we're going to, if we see the Donnie that we saw against Pace, except ramped up to a, in-season level, I think we're going to have to look back, and a lot of people are going to need to apologize to Donnie because he was giving way more than what you could ever expect.
Well, yeah, it was what, the Florida State game last year when JJ came back from the hand was the last game that Donnie played. He couldn't run up and down the court. You're like, that don't look right. And then obviously he misses the rest of the season. And, we both dealt with it at that time last year. Everybody and their mother was telling us, well, he's gone. He's never to play for Syracuse again. He's transferring. I never once actually legitimately heard that behind the scenes. Like, it was everywhere. People just assumed it because that's what you assume these days. But if he can be the guy everyone thought that he might be last year, now you got a chance to build off of. I liked the times when he and Sadiq were in there together. Like, and again, it's Pace, so they're smaller. But Sadiq was like guarding the guy near the rim, and Donnie was sliding over with help defense. And all of a sudden, you got two dudes like this, and like Donnie didn't get any blocks, but I think during the season he's going to be able to get some, backside blocks and stuff like that.
You mentioned Sadiq. There was one play, and I think everybody knew he was good, but I don't think a ton of people really knew what you could expect from him at the college level. I know I didn't. There's some people who are grinding film more than me. I know I didn't. There was one play, he had the go-go gadget arm and he jumped like unreasonably high.
Yeah.
It was for the oop from Kyan that he missed. But I think that was the moment where everybody there was like, oh my gosh, this
what's
guy
he doing up
is
there?
special. Yeah. And he can shoot. Like he hit 3 from each corner. And after the game, he's like, it's something I'm working on. Griff wants me to be shooting. If Sadiq White can be consistent with that corner 3, because then like think about this, you get him out on the corner, now you have to close out on him, now he's driving on you baseline. If he gets a few steps baseline, you are going to end up in the hoop. He is just so exciting, and I think very early in the season we're going to get to the point where people are wanting him to play more minutes. I don't know what Red's going to play him, but I think he's going to be the guy this year. It's not going to be like some guy who's not actually that good who fans want to be in.
Yeah.
I think Sadiq's going to be the guy. It's going to be, why are you not playing this freshman 30 minutes a game? That's how impressive he looked, and he does everything.
Yeah, I really like him. And it's easy to forget, he was the highest ranked recruit in this class, higher than Cayenne. Not like shockingly higher, but he was higher than Cayenne essentially throughout the whole process. And again, like you, I'm not grinding peach jam tape or something, but everything, the people that are grinding the tape and know this stuff, they are like, this guy for a high school player, like, understands defense. It's not just because he's kooky athletic, like he knows where to be. And for a team that has not understood defense the last 2 years, 4 years, a long time, it's been ages since they understood defense around here. At least one guy does. Now, you read in the presser last night about JJ, and I thought that it's like he wants JJ basically balls to the wall, offense and defense. I think best case scenario for Red, and I don't know if we're going to get it, it's just not what JJ's been, is like he's going hard for 27 minutes a game, including trying to lock somebody up, which hasn't been his forte. So I don't know if hopefully the guys are going to be willing to do what the coach wants here. Otherwise, it's going to go kablooey at some point this year.
Yeah, and JJ seems bought in. He's saying all the right things, whether it was media day, whether it was last night. He's made it very clear he wants to become a defensive presence. And will he be a presence? I don't know if we're going to get that, but I do think that him not having to be the offense will help him a lot. And I do think that him not having a 5'10" backcourt partner will help a lot. And I think him having front court teammates capable of rotating, switching, jumping will help a lot. So maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think JJ could be an above average defender this season when surrounded by a bunch of guys who should also be above average defenders, you would hope.
Yeah, like you look at the guys' frames, like Sadiq obviously can be. I think Donnie has a chance to be if he desires to do so. Same with JJ. Nate Kings has a good frame on him to guard wings. Like he's not huge, but he's bigger than you think he is. Nate George, I don't know if he's a great defender, but he's 6'3" as a point guard. He's not going to get just bully balled out of there. Cayenne's been giving an honest effort on defense through the exhibition games. Nothing we ever necessarily accused Dad of over the course of his career. So, like, and then your two centers, Kyle and Soiree, they're both in there for it. So, I mean, Red's been talking defense now. I mean, it's 2.5 years. It's what he's been talking about since his first press conference, and it doesn't need to be to the level that he's been talking about, which is Houston is what he's talking about. But if it can just be like awake, like they got a shot because they got some talents. They got some talent that can put the ball in the bucket if given a chance. But they are the ones that have to give themselves a chance.
People are blaming the refs on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, something I forgot to turn on the TV. I don't know what they're blaming the refs about, though. My guy Mark Andrews now has 2 touchdowns for my fantasy team. So
yeah, I only needed 1. I agree with you in that. I also, a couple of guys I would have liked to see more of are Tyler Betsy and Nate Kings, I would have liked to see consistency because in terms of guys who are supposed to be shooters, and by all accounts, you figure those two guys are supposed to be your top two shooters at this point, from what I'm hearing. It's consistency, right? You gotta be able to make a couple pretty much every game.
Mm-hmm.
And Betsy
was great on Saturday.
Yeah, was he
in attendance on Wednesday
against Pace? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure he was there.
Yeah, I don't recall anything.
Kings, a couple of things with Kings. I'm not a professional shooter, but I was sitting there getting angry because he would come off a curl, and it was just like the most lazy flick up a shot and let your body kind of flop around thing I've ever seen. Like when I think of a guy who's a knockdown shooter, good on the move, I think of a guy who rises up, squares his body, like really puts his whole body into a shot while he's moving. And like, I just wasn't seeing that from Kings. Like I was sitting there muttering to myself, go straight up. Again, I'm not a professional shooter, and maybe it's the exhibition thing, but I think those guys need to be a lot more consistent because we did not see either of them do really anything against Pace.
You may just be being prejudiced against lefties is what you might be against Kings.
That could be it.
It could be.
Does what I'm saying, like, did you at any point notice that when he was shooting on the move, it was just like he wasn't jumping. He was just kind of, it just looked like, it didn't look like he was locked into those shots. It kind of just looked like he was flinging it.
It didn't stand out just because the whole game was like that for everybody. So it wasn't like, oh, what's this guy doing? But yeah, like Betsy opened my eyes on Saturday, and then I literally don't remember him being on the court. Yeah, like I assume he played. He must he must have played.
I wanted more Aaron Womack too. While we're at it,
you need more Aaron Womack in your life.
Yeah, I want to see what's good. It's an exhibition game. The fact that we couldn't get Womack or Sheffing, like if we're playing against Pace, they got to play.
Yeah. Well, that's why your starters got to go out, or your main rotation, in the first 10 minutes in the first half of those games and drop the hammer and just be like, all right, night's done, boss. And then Aaron Womack, who I presume is going to redshirt this year, assuming all goes to plan, then like he can get his last licks in for the season in the second half, because it's not a game you're losing that you have to leave Donnie Freeman in to win the freaking game. Like, it's unbelievable. Sadiq White is the new Malik Brown. The names are weird.
That's a great take.
I mean, it's how rare is it to have a name that ends in Q? And there's two of them. Sadiq and Malik, they'll play against each other at some point this season if Malik gets healthy again. Okay,
so what I'm getting here is guys whose names start with Q, polarizing,
yes,
fun at times, doesn't always end well.
And guys whose name is always Q.
Yes. Guys whose names end in Q, hard worker, does the little things, beloved by all.
And nickname not Q.
Yes.
I think
they're calling him Deke.
Yeah, I think
when
Malik
you type
was
Deke,
like,
it doesn't work.
Yeah, like Malik was Leek and Sadiq was Deke. Like they both go by the back half of their name. They're getting the Q in, I guess. It's that's a good catch, Carrie Meehan. I like that.
Don't type out Deke though. You can't do that. It doesn't work.
No, that could go. That could like if you put on the closed captioning here, that could go the wrong way. Yeah, so Sadiq White better not be playing for Duke in a few years, is what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
Yeah,
we don't need that. I think Malik's hurt right now. He's trying to work his way back down there. I saw something about that the other day.
I hope so. So yeah, I guess I've gotten everything I need to get off my chest about both of those. Now I'm just really interested. And you used to monitor this as well as anybody. You would even do it with other sports. The legendary "What Has My Attention" contest between the NBA and NHL finals, or I think we're going to do that here with football and basketball the next few weeks. We might have to get a running count every time we do the show. What has your attention more? Yeah, because that's the most interesting storyline for me right now, is which of these teams is actually going to command people's attention, because after the Pace game and with what we have for football right now, you're pretty close to people being apathetic about both of them, and not just the programs in full, but like the season.
Yeah, I mean, go check it out. My article yesterday on Syracuse and SI, like that was the whole point of the article was, all right, football. We'll watch the rest of football season, but this is the first time in a while that football hadn't grabbed us. Like we were watching Sean Tucker go for Joe Morris's record. Then the end of Dino was just bizarrely captivating, and then it was into Fran, and it just kept going. And then obviously last year, and I skipped a year in there at some point, but like there was just stuff go. Oh, there was one year in the middle there, the year they started 6-0, where then they lost 5 in a row, but they were 6-0 in ranked, so you had to pay attention for a while. This year,
and Schrader was doing backflips.
Yeah, this year it's not there. But then, I mean, God bless Fran. He says quarterbacks. I got which one, Fran? Oh, quarterbacks. So it's just like you have. It's the scene with Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained. He's like, "You have my attention." I'm like, "Okay." It's like, "All right, Fran, I'm back in Halloween night. I'll be watching your quarterbacks." And if the walk-on lacrosse player from Connecticut, is that where Flaherty's from? If he's playing in the game, I want to say he's from.
Did someone say Hofstra? Are you talking before that?
No, high school. Is he from Connecticut? I mean, he's from.
Or yeah, not. Why would it say Hofstra?
I don't know. His brothers.
I thought somebody said he was in New York. I don't remember where he's from.
Long Island? One of his brothers, I think, played Stony Brook or something. Maybe.
I think so. I think somebody said I think posted on Twitter like he was the best high school quarterback in New York last year, something like that.
Yeah, and how often does that work out for anybody? I mean,
yeah, great point. Great point.
Yeah. Okay.
King Joseph Edwards, is he coming back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan. It's a valid question.
Maybe.
Man, that guy knows how to get attention. I'm not saying whether it's good or bad, but King Joseph Edwards knows how to keep his name in the news cycle.
Yeah, he's out there letting the people know. I don't know what he's letting them know, but he's letting them know.
He got invited.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, and not to keep dragging this on, but I'm laughing about it. I don't think I saw he actually said that he was coming. I think he just posted that he was invited. I could be wrong.
Did he respectfully decline?
I didn't ever see him actually be like, I'm going to show up. I think I just saw him post that he was invited.
It's nice to be included.
Yeah, but that would be really funny if all that, and he just posted like a picture on his couch.
Not watching the game.
Yeah,
just a picture on his couch. He's watching the World Series tomorrow night or something. Like, oh, I didn't know you dug baseball, King. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that'll bring us to an end here. Unless you got something else, Jordan. We got football tomorrow night. Post game. Our show next week will be Wednesday. Back to our normal bat date and bat time. Basketball opener is a Monday. So by the time we next talk, an amount of quarterbacks will have played. Jordan will have eaten tomato soup. 'Tis the season. It's great tomato soup weather. And we will have a basketball game that, if there's no effort, it will be effort that is lacking and counts this time. So there we go.
This is what I have for you, Brian. This was my Halloween costume. We at the Grid today, we had a Halloween party.
Okay.
There was trick-or-treating.
Are you nicknaming it the Grid now? Is that where we've gone?
Yeah, the Grid.
Is that you that did that, or was that pre-existing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I shorten everything.
I know you do. I just didn't know if the rest of them were popping around at the Grid at work, or if it's just you showed up and made it happen.
But yeah, so that's what I have. It was crazy. There was trick or treating. There was we did like wind up toy races, and we had like floating ducks in water, and we were like turning them over for prizes. And there was a potluck and a costume contest.
Another potluck.
Dude was dressed as Evel Knievel.
We've had 4 shows, and 2 of them have been directly tied to a potluck.
There have been 2 potlucks and 1 just bringing food in for Boss's Day. I didn't bring anything today because I just couldn't do it with the game last night, and it didn't happen. But everybody carried for me. But yeah, so that's what I got. Tomato soup. This is my costume.
There we are. I like it. My costume is tired East Coast dad. That's my costume.
Okay. I think you're pulling it off well.
Yeah. Did you go? You didn't go 18 innings the other night, did you? Did you stay up for that? I made it through 10.
Oh gosh, dude. I don't think I went 1 inning. So my sleep schedule was a mess. That was Monday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I was out by I was half asleep by probably 7:30 or 8. I was out cold by 9.
There you go. All right.
It was brutal.
Okay.
Shout out Freddie, though.
Yeah.
That man just knows how to hit a walk-off in the World Series. And the Dodgers just know how to play 18-inning games in the World Series and win them.
And then lose the series. It's their specialty. Specialty. All right, that's going to wrap it up. He's Jordan. I'm Brian. Jordan will be at the game tomorrow night. I got post-game for you tomorrow night. All that good stuff. Say goodbye to Mr. Tomato Soup, and good night, Grover the Cat. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.